All English Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to All English Podcast, the place where you learn real English and actually enjoy the process. I'm Sarah, and today's topic is extremely important because many English learners don't really have a vocabulary problem. What they actually have is a tone problem.
A tone problem? Wow, that sounds serious.
It is serious, but the good news is it's also very fixable. Today, we're talking about polite English versus casual English. In other words, when should you sound polite? And when should you sound relaxed and friendly?
Oh, so this is about not sounding rude, or not sounding like a robot.
Exactly, Jack. Both of those are very common problems. Let's start by talking about what polite English really means. Polite English is not old English, and it's not difficult English. It's simply respectful English. We usually use polite English in situations like talking to strangers, customers, teachers, bosses, older people, or anytime the situation feels formal.
So polite English is kind of like wearing formal clothes?
That's a perfect comparison. For example, casual English might say, "Give me that file." But polite English sounds more like, "Could you please give me that file?" Same meaning, very different feeling. Now let's talk about casual English. Casual English is relaxed, friendly, natural, and extremely common. It's the kind of English people use with friends, family, co-workers they know well, people their own age, and in daily conversations.
So casual English is like wearing pajamas?
Yes, but please don't wear pajamas to work. For example, polite English might say, "I would like to ask you a question," but casual English sounds like, "Can I ask you something?"
That sounds much easier.
It is, and that's exactly why people use it. Now let's look at the same message but with a different tone. In polite English, you might hear, "Excuse me, could you please help me?" In casual English, people often say, "Hey, can you help me?" Both are correct. The situation decides which one sounds right.
So if I say, "Hey, can you help me?" to a stranger, is that rude?
Not rude, but maybe a little too casual. Here's another example. Polite English. "I'm sorry to bother you, but I have a question." Casual English. Quick question.
People say quick question all the time.
All the time. At work, polite English becomes very important. Let's look at a common work situation. Casual English says, "Send me the report." Polite English sounds like, "Could you please send me the report when you have time?" Politeness softens commands and makes you sound professional.
So polite English is safer at work?
Yes, always safer. Another example, casual English. "I can't do this." Polite English. "I'm afraid I won't be able to do this."
Wow, that sounds much nicer.
And much more professional. Now let's talk about customer service. Customer service English is usually very polite. Imagine a customer has a problem. Casual English says, "That's not my problem." Polite English says, "I understand your concern. Let me see what I can do."
Same meaning, very different result.
Exactly. Now let's relax a little and talk about casual English with friends. Instead of saying, "I am very tired today," people often say, "I'm exhausted," "I'm wiped," "I'm dead."
That one again.
Yes, it's very popular. Another example, polite English. "Would you like to join us for dinner?" Casual English. "Do you want to grab dinner?" Casual English usually uses shorter sentences, simpler words, and contractions. And now let's talk about some big mistakes learners make. Mistake number 1, using polite English everywhere.
That's me.
If you always sound very polite, people may feel distance. Mistake number 2, using casual English everywhere. That can sound rude, especially at work.
So balance is the key.
Exactly. The real skill is switching your tone based on the situation. That's what fluent speakers do naturally. So how do you practice polite versus casual English? Listen to podcasts. Watch movies. Pay attention to how people talk and who they are talking to. Ask yourself, is this polite or is this casual?
Like people watching?
Exactly, language watching. The goal is not to sound fancy or perfect. The goal is to sound right for the situation. When you understand tone, your English immediately sounds more natural, confident, and fluent. Thanks for listening to All English Podcast. Keep practicing, keep listening, and we'll see you next time.